I don't know what to make of it. In 31 plus years of this job, this ranks up there with one of the crazier ones I've heard.
And we begin with breaking news out of the west side of Detroit, where 5 family members have been sent to the hospital, all of them with gunshot wounds. Detroit police say there was a fight between family members and then things escalated into a full-on shootout. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Hillary Goulston.
And I'm Dave Spencer. We are learning more now about the conditions of those multiple victims. Fox 2's Camille Mary joins us live from the scene. Camille, so much to unpack here. Where to start?
Yeah, 2 people, though, are critical condition and 3 in temp serious. But let's talk about what happened. Let's rewind the clock back to yesterday. And that's what led up to all this, is a family member died after a long-term illness. She was an elderly woman. And then today, all the family members were together trying to discuss logistics after a passing, what to do as far as funeral arrangements go, where to have the body taken, when all of a sudden chaos broke out. A physical altercation, then a shooting. We know right now, as I said at the top, that 2 brothers in their 50s in critical condition, and then 3 women who are also family members. One of them, the wife of one of the brothers, and then also a niece who was in her 20s, also in the hospital. Now, the Assistant Chief Fitzgerald talks about this way better than I can, so I want you to listen to what he has to say in his own words.
Sounds like it started with the 2 brothers in a physical altercation. Gun falls out of the one brother's waistband. Another brother picks it up, fires a shot. Others return fire to defend that person. And even when the original officers, the responding officers arrived at scene, they were still fighting on the front lawn. One of the family members had a broom, hit another family member with the broom.
Okay, so right now we know that there was also a person who was inside the house. This all happened outside, but who was inside the house, who is suffering from a stroke, who is recovering from that. Police worried that he could have maybe been hit in this, but he's okay. And then also a bullet hit another house. Luckily, no one was hit. Right now, it's kind of a hectic situation because someone walked up. He actually walked up to us first and then to police because he's trying to get to his house back there. He's screaming at police. Police are trying to get him to calm down. He doesn't appear to be related to all of this, but still kind of adding to the stress and the chaos of this scene. But for now, that's what's going on. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this and bring you the latest information as soon as we get it. Reporting live, Camille Mary, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Camille, whenever you're dealing with these domestic situations, we know emotions can run high. Do we know if the family members who were not injured are cooperating with the investigation at this point?
Well, again, interesting. And also, too, I didn't even tell you where this was. This is in Detroit, Sussex and Linden. Again, I apologize for kind of the chaos. You can probably hear the screaming behind me. But we do know that one of the people arrested, a woman, is also believed to be a family member. But who shot who? One of the people who shot is in the hospital, but police still trying to sort it all out. Just a very chaotic, messy scene. And again, this with this neighbor arguing with police is not helping matters at all.
Yeah,
David, Hillary, back to you.
We know this happened a few hours ago, and it's still an ongoing investigation. So we'll check back with you later on. Thank you for that live report.
Okay. Wow, man, if that ain't straight out of Deuteronomy, right? Let's go get it. Deuteronomy. Okay, where's that? I shall be evil. Yep, there it is. Big as shit. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. Let's start at let's start at 53. Right? Okay. Yeah, I guess that covers the police too, don't it? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trusted throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee, being the Edomites, in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness. Right? And that's a biblical prophecy that's about to happen. concerning the power going out, right? Jacob's trouble, the power going out, because the water is hooked up to the power grid, which goes in the second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 24, I think it is. 22 to 24. You see? And so, these things are jumping off the page as far as the biblical prophecies of our people wanting to destroy each other. All of this mutual hatred, right? So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, and this is my point, his eye shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom. Didn't you just hear the women was using brooms beating the men? And the men was shooting each other in the fucking living room? Okay. I'm like, wow, man. Really? And toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. Right? Okay, and this is concerning the women that are destroying their own children, through what do they call it? Making their children pass through the fires of Molech, aka abortion, right? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 56. And the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for one of all things secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thy power. See? And that just goes down a laundry list of everything that attacks us. High blood pressure, stroke, gout, everything. Now, you just heard the woman said somebody had a stroke in the living room, right? Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, right? That's sugar diabetes and sore sicknesses, right? Cancer, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldst not obey the voice of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thy power. Right? And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked off from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And that's exactly what's happening to us. You got gangbangers shooting each other to death. Let's go over here to Hosea. Right? Let's go over there to Hosea. Where's it at? Chapter 4, verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Why? Because there is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Right? Ain't this what exactly happened? Okay? By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yet the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Yet let no man strive, nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priest. Right? And that's exactly what our people, they are striving with the apostles and elders, a great millstone. They're striving with other individuals out there that are risking their lives and freedom to spread the truth of this gospel concerning the salvation of the elect of the house of Israel, and concerning, the Israelite foreigners that have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, like it tells you in Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11, where the Yahweh Shai HaMashiach will come, like it says in Revelation chapter 1, verse 7, will go through. As a matter of fact, let me just get those put it together. Okay, let's go over here to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11, right? Okay, let's start at verse 10. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Right? And the Gentiles, okay, are found in concerning the diaspora. The diaspora. Right? Let's get it. Let's go get John 7 and 35. All right. They're dispersed amongst the Gentiles, right? Hold on. They're dispersed.
Strong's G1290. Diaspora.
Diaspora, whatever. A scattering, a dispersion of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Right? And then the white man put in Christians, bullshit. Salakia. Dispersion from G1289, i.e., especially and concretely the converted Israelite resident in Gentile countries which are scattered abroad. A scattering, a dispersion. Okay? In the Septuagint used of the Israelites dispersed among foreign nations, especially of their Babylonian exile, and those that were expelled from Israel during the Babylonian exile or the Babylonian captivity under Daniel, Habakkuk, right? Those biblical prophets there under the Babylonian captivity. Yeah, those were mostly Negroes, the tribe of Judah. That's where the word Jew comes from. Vast majority of the individuals of the tribe of Judah, okay, went through the Grecian captivity. Okay, and out of the Grecian captivity, they went directly from the Grecian captivity into the Roman captivity. Okay, and then that's where the confusion comes in between the book of Malachi and the book of Matthew. There's a history of 250 years that went on about how the Israelites had been scattered abroad amongst those foreign nations and practicing the heathenistic ideologies and social norms and their dietary laws, the way they dress, all of these type of things like that, tattoos, bald head, all these things were practiced from generation to generation to generation for 250 years during the Grecian captivity. Then the Romans came in and took over after them. Okay? Our people were forced during the Grecian captivity under force of the sword, okay, and under draconian martial law, that if you were caught practicing Israelite values, keeping the law, statutes, commandments, calling upon the true name of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, all of these different things, prayer, supplications, fasting, if you were caught doing that, you and your entire family were to be put to death. Okay, and they don't teach that at Christian church on Sunday, which is pretty much primarily the only day that anybody would want to desire to go and worship a false god. But they worship false gods all during the week. It was never supposed to be a freedom of religion. The Most High chose the Israelites to be above all people that are upon the face of the earth, as it is written in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6 through 10. Okay, and Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. It was meant for us to be above all nations upon the face of the earth, and they were supposed to worship our God. There was never supposed to be a freedom of religion where everybody worships whatever God they choose. That was never supposed to happen. Okay? But because of our continued disobedience at what I just read to you in the book of Deuteronomy and what's happening to our people being destroyed with disease, heart attack, stroke, gout, weakness of the knees, right? Weakness of the back, hair falling out, all of these things were found in Deuteronomy. All I had to do was keep reading. Okay? All of the diseases were there. Everything I just quoted to you are there. All you have to do is type them what they actually mean in actual language from what the Bible states. Put it in your Google search engine. It'll break it down for you. Okay? A scattering, a dispersion, opposed to used of the Israelites in the Septuagint, dispersed among foreign nations, especially if they're Babylonian exile. Okay? Unto the dispersed amongst the Greeks, equivalent to expelled outcasts unto those dispersed amongst the Greeks. Okay? So that's basically what's going on there. Now let's go back over here to what was I at? Isaiah chapter 11, right? Okay. Verse 10. Okay, I already read that. The restored remnant, Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. This is where all of the Israelites had been scattered before the transatlantic slave trade. Okay? Verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The dispersed. Let's go get it again. See if it says dispersed again. And the dispersed.
Strong's H 5310. Naphats.
Right. To shatter, to break. It was supposed to be the dispersed. Right. But they changed it again. Devils. They ain't gonna keep nothing the way it was supposed to be. Okay? It was supposed to be the same dispersion, the diaspora of the dispersed. Okay? But they changed it. It was supposed to be the same. Goddamn devils, boy, I tell you, man. They always up to no good, man. Talking about shattering. Breaking up. Okay, you see what I'm saying? They're saying dispersed is breaking up in this biblical context. And then in another biblical context in the New Testament, it says that they were scattered abroad. Right? Daniel 12 and 7, when they finished shattering the hand, figurative of power of the holy people. Okay. And see, disperse, be scattered. Okay. Right? To be scattered. Scatter, pour out, throw down. See? Thence dispersed of all the population of the earth. Isaiah 33 and 3, nations were scattered. The dispersed of Judah shall he collect. Okay. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. Okay. Let me see. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Hold on. Here it is. Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. To break, to dash in pieces, earthen vessels, whatever. To scatter a flock or a people. Okay. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. To disperse themselves or to be dispersed. Okay. See what I'm saying? See, that's what I mean, man. These goddamn devils, man, they always up to doing something wrong. Can't help themselves. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and to gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Right? Tells you the same thing in Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Right? Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. Who is he? Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right? And they also which pierced him, which also puts an end to this secret rapture bullshit that they put out in that movie Left Behind. Those three or four movies that they had in the series, and then they put out this movie with not Nick Nolte, what's his name? God damn it. I just forgot his name, man. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Oh man, what is this dude's name? He's a really famous actor. I forget it. It just slipped my mind. Whatever. But anyway, yeah. And they just remade that movie Left Behind again, right? Behold, he cometh with clouds, every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, right? And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. And those that pierced him were the Romans. So the people, when he returns, who ruled the world as ruled the world back then, 2,000 years ago, the same people are going to be ruling the world upon his return. Okay? So those that pierced him were the Romans. The children of those people that pierced him are the Caucasians, called Edomites today. They were called Edomites back then, but they tried to put the moniker on themselves after Romulus and Remus, who were supposedly born of a dire wolf, right? And that Greek and Roman mythological bullshit. Two men born from a wolf, right? That was just born out of thin air, right? What do you call it? Immaculate conception type shit. Okay? And they started calling themselves Romans after Romulus and Remus, these two individuals who were Edomites, right? And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. See? So, yeah. Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. They don't understand who they are, what they're up to, why they're doing all of the wickedness that they do, all of it. They just don't have a clue as to who they are, man. Okay, and our job is to tell the people who they are, and tell them how to practice rehearsing the righteous acts found in Judges chapter 5 verse 11, right? Keeping the Sabbath day, keeping it holy, finding out that it's based on the new moon instead of Friday sundown and Saturday sundown. You know, to come away from all of that bullshit, study to show themselves approved, seek out of the book of the Lord and read, to go online and start asking questions concerning different individuals until you find your way to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone like we did. Okay? Until when you find out they're not answering your questions, all these different camps, then you run into Great Millstone and you get all your questions answered, because after you've read the book, you know that the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is a stern, austere individual, and he has no respect of persons, and you should fear him and keep his commandments. Okay? And why these other individuals are saying things differently. See? That's how I found out. You know, I had to go through searching through all of these unbelievers, the same, just like everyone else. But anyway, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.